Good morning, Samantha. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me.
Good morning, Beth. Thank you. I'm excited to discuss my lesson.
Thank you for having me in your class. I really appreciate you opening your door and me coming into your class. How did you think the lesson went?
I think it went very well. I was pleasantly surprised about how many of them actually watched the debate and did their homework. And I feel like for being teenagers, as we say, they had many insightful things that made me even think about the election process and the candidates that were running.
I agree. When I went in, I could not believe that every single person participated in the lesson. Every single person had something to bring to the table about the election. Even the touchy topics, everyone wanted to talk about things. The questions they came up with, why are they wearing opposing colors? They were asking you questions that were so highly effective, that were higher order questions. I just thought it was really great, and I really was shocked how many of them watched the debate. Why do you think so many of them watched the debate?
I think they actually care. I made our culminating project that they have to convince me who I should vote for, because I tell them that I'm undecided. So I think they're very interested because they want to be the one that is going to convince me who I should vote for.
Awesome. The one thing I thought was really interesting was it's so early in the year, and your class definitely was following rules, like the classroom procedures were so followed. They all raised their hand. Everyone was respectful to everyone else, even if they had different opinions. They all, looked at the sentence starters. I agree with, I disagree with, and everyone was respectful. How did you create that culture so early in the year?
Fortunately for me, I've had a few of them before, so that definitely helps in the process. But you just need to treat them with respect and be polite and encourage them to do so with their classmates, and it just comes together. I had very, very good kids in that class.
You could tell, you could tell. The thing that I thought was very interesting, and one of the things I want to say, that boy that came in late, I didn't know his name.
Josh?
The boy who, he was sitting across from me.
Josh.
Okay, he came in late, and he jumped right into the lesson. It wasn't even like he missed a beat. And I was inferring that he is a weaker student.
Not necessarily weaker, but doesn't do the work at home for the most part. Josh is, I'm here, I'll do it, but don't expect me to do anything at home.
But he did participate in the discussion, and he did watch the debate, and he brought things to the table. And the thing I thought was so interesting was your relationship with him, that you guys joked around so well together.
Yes.
And he was really funny. I forget what he said.
The chicken.
Yes. Okay. The other thing that I thought was interesting, during the debate, how you brought it back, because this is a government class, it's senior year, how you brought it back to U.S. history, and you reviewed the Congress presidential rules, your NRA knowledge. You bring so much to the table. How do you do that when you don't even know what they're going to talk about in a debate? How do you do that? I'd like to know.
I just like to read.
Okay.
I'm interested in this election, so I do a lot of research. I do a lot of reading on my own, and just it's what I'm interested in. That's why I teach U.S. history and government.
Okay.
It makes life easier for me.
One of the things I thought that was also very interesting was when you kept prodding from the students, like, how do you know? How do you know? And they just kept raising their hands, and they were so interested. Another thing that was really interesting was how you could talk about such a controversial topic. You remember when the students talked about stop and frisk?
Yes.
And I've seen it in other classes. I think you did stop and frisk last year, and it was more controversial. Where this time, do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was very, debated very fairly. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I think I have students in there that can see both sides of the story, and they have their opinion, but they're respectful of their classmates, even though it might be different, and they can see what they're saying rather than get hostile about it and start, saying, no, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. They allow others and respect their opinions.
Right. Another thing I noticed looking around your classroom, your memes, that you use the popular culture memes to get the kids interesting. You have The Rock, you had your popular culture things for Clinton, and the thing I also thought was great was that you have both Trump and Clinton paraphernalia in your classroom. I thought that was great. What do you think that needs to be worked on in the class?
Definitely I have one L in there, is getting her more actively involved and participating. I feel that she probably would add a lot to the conversation, but isn't really comfortable enough to talk about maybe the election or just talk in general. So I definitely want to do more work to get her involved, maybe even just calling on her, although I hate putting them on the spot because it does make them more uncomfortable, but just give her a warning that says, you know, for the next couple of questions, I'm going to call on you, or here's the question in advance. When we get to that one, please, you know, have an answer ready for it.
Right.
Those are some things I've been thinking about.
Yeah, I felt bad. I kept looking at her. I knew I've had her in class too. I know she would rather walk on hot coals
Yep.
than speak in your classroom.
Exactly.
Especially about something that she probably isn't familiar with.
Correct.
Even though you're teaching, is she watching the debate at home with her parents? Are they talking about the election?
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay. So what are your next steps? They're going to be doing a paper on.
Yes, they're going to write a paper in which they have an argumentative essay in which they have to convince me who I should vote for. We have watched the second debate. They will watch the third debate, and we'll talk about each of them. And we're trying to look at the role that media kind of plays in our election and kind of analyze that too, because this is a very changing, you know, time period for us in regards to how the election is covered, and they're very interested in that.
Okay. Can I just give you one suggestion for
Yes.
RL? Something that I had her do when she was in my class. She might not ever participate, but maybe to get her engaged, you could have her keep a tab of who speaks or how many times each person speaks, right? Because it's all about student discussion.
Yes.
And maybe just to keep her engaged, she could, you know, maybe you could give her a class roster and she could put a mark next to each person who talks.
Okay.
You think that would be?
That might be something she can do.
Okay. I look forward to coming back. When are you doing the next debate discussion?
The next debate is October 19th, so the 20th would be our next discussion.
I look forward to coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you, Samantha.
Thank you so much.